Hi everyone, John here from LookSmart Home Inspections right here in New Jersey, performing great home inspections throughout New Jersey. And what I have here is another video of the problems that I found recently doing home inspections here in the state. Just interesting stuff. Some of it you may find interesting, some of it may be relatable to your own home, some of it may be relatable to a house that maybe you're thinking about buying. So hopefully looking at these things will help you guys understand some of the problems that home inspectors look at while, performing their job, and also maybe give you a kind of a leg up on the other people buying the house or trying to buy the house. In other words, trying to look for these problems even before you do your home inspection. And it may even help you decide whether you want to even think about purchasing a certain house or not. So I think just good information to have. So let's take a look at some of these defects now. I'm just looking at this box plate. This box plate right here is behind a front porch, and it is very termite damaged. So I always like to look at these box plate behind the porch because that's an area of high moisture, and you can see this termite mud right here. I can go right into the structure. So this is definitely going to need repair for sure. And if we go over here, I can even do the same thing here. Goes right through. That box plate is basically hollowed out by termite damage, so definitely a structural repair. So I'm just doing this renovated house here, inspecting this house. This is the original porch, and then they moved the sliding door over to the right of the porch, and there's no porch or steps or landing under the sliding door, which is obviously a hazard. So that is pretty crazy. And that's never going to pass a certificate of occupancy inspection or an insurance company inspection or my inspection, frankly. So that's a safety hazard. So we need to bring that porch over, build to the right of that porch, make a landing, make a set of steps, something here to alleviate this safety hazard. Here in this section of the foundation wall, and this is the right side of the house, and we can see some foundation mid-wall cracking developing here. So these cracks will develop in the mortar joints or just around the mortar joints because that's our weak point. And typically the problem is expansive soil against the outside of the home pushing laterally against the foundation wall, causing this cracking. It's not severe now, but it can get worse over time. So this is definitely something that we can't ignore, and the buyer of the property is going to have to definitely fix the grading around the outside of the home and possibly get this evaluated and put some bracing or Kevlar strapping to prevent further wall movement in this area. It's not bad now, but it can get a lot worse. Here we have a reasonably new shower, but we have a shower pan that's cracked right through here, close to the drain, right there. Water is going to leak down in here and cause problems and damage. Now, this is not the first line of defense. There should be a properly configured pan under this tile, but we don't really like to see this. This is basically a redo for this shower pan because ultimately this is going to leak. It's going to leak on through. We're in a second floor unit here, and if this leaks, it means trouble for the condo owner down below this this bathroom. So this is a must do, and I bet you when they remove these tiles to see the condition of the pan, that pan could be cracked, it could be improperly installed. We shouldn't have a shower pan cracking so soon in this newer this is a newer shower enclosure right here. So this is definitely a problem. So looking at this foundation wall right under this beam, we have all of this cracking right here, and the cracking actually travels down to the basement floor. So I'm going to have a structural engineer take a look at this and design a fix. But most likely what's going to happen here is that a lolly column is going to have to be put here just to get the weight of this beam off of this foundation beam pocket, which probably wasn't designed correctly for the load, and that's why we have all this cracking. So this is a structural crack, and that's going to have to be repaired for sure. You can kind of see it through here, cracking all the way down. So definitely a must-do. Taking a look at this building, and we have this stair step crack right here through the brick veneer. And above it, we have another stair step crack. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it right here, coming up right under this window. Now the window is generally, this window right here, is generally the weak point, and we'll see a lot of this happening. But this is a structural crack, and so is this one down here. So this is not normal settlement. We don't really expect to see this. Both cracks point in this direction. So what that means is that this portion of the building this way is settling at a faster rate than the portion of the building this way over here, so to the left. So the left portion of the building is remaining stagnant, where the right portion of the building has what we call differential movement and is settling down at a faster rate than the left side. So right side settling, left side remaining stagnant. And that's why we have this stair step cracking. So this is a structural concern. It should be further evaluated by a structural engineer. Home inspectors in New Jersey are not engineers, but it is something that's very, very important that we're going to tell our client about. And it should just be evaluated to determine if this needs fortification or will this get worse over time. So here we have this really old boiler today. And this looks like it was an old converted coal or wood boiler, and now it was converted to oil. So this is pretty ancient. It does work, but obviously the client's going to want something that's a little bit more energy efficient and more reliable than this old dinosaur that we have here. So this is something that the client's going to probably want to upgrade sooner than later. So old, looks like coal boiler converted to oil, which is not uncommon, but we don't see this a lot anymore just because of the age. And as we go through here, we see all these old steam pipes here are asbestos coated, and all this asbestos, this white pipe wrap, is going to have to be changed out and removed just because it is an environmental and a safety hazard. So we can see all this asbestos pipe wrap all over the place. And so that's obviously a health hazard, and it has to go. Here, I'm in an attic, and here we see this is a dryer vent discharge pipe, and it's just venting right into the attic. We see all this lint right here. So this should actually vent up and through the roof with the proper termination. So this is a hazard, not only because the lint is a fire hazard, but also because it's going to put a lot of moisture in the attic space, creating conditions that are conducive to mold growth. So this is a must-do. This must go to the outside. So this is a brand new roof on a flip house, but you see these shingles over this flashing at this lower roof right here have slipped down. So they were never attached. They just came right off the flashing, and they're resting now into the gutter area right here. And if we go here, we can kind of see that these come nice roofing job. Just looking at this attic space, and I peeled back some of this insulation, and we do have wet attic roof deck. So all this is wet right through here. You can see all these stains. My hands are wet through here and through here. So we're definitely going to need a new roof on this home. You can almost see it almost develop like a frost right here and right there because of the attic roof leaks. We have a really old chimney, and we have a lot of moisture penetration through this chimney here. It actually goes downstairs. We could see a lot of moisture around the chimney in the first floor and the second floor. So this is going to have to be dealt with. We see all this creosote here. A lot of the mortar joints are deteriorating here, but a lot of water. And this has to do with lack of chimney flashing on the front of the home. A chimney flashing helps prevent this type of water leakage. And if we go around here, carefully here, we can see where the seller actually put some tar here. So we don't want to see tar on the underside of a roof or around the chimney. We want to see a properly configured chimney flashing. So this is a telltale sign of leakage. And basically this chimney is a mess and it's going to need quite extensive work. So let's see the mouse. There we just see some general seepage conditions through the foundation wall here of this house. And if we look closely, this black material here is probably a mold called Cladosporium, which is in the black mold family. So this really should be dealt with professionally. I got a lot of mold, throughout the foundation walls of this house, just because that water is seeping through. And the mold is using the paint on these foundation walls as a food source. So we'll see this a lot, but this has to be dealt with. You don't want this in your house. In this dishwasher, guys, here, you see this sort of this staining all through here and inside. If we pull this tray out, all that discoloration and staining inside this dishwasher. So this is an indication of hard water, which is, minerals in the water that is causing this staining. It's also, hard water is really hard on piping. It's really hard on appliances, and you get really a much shorter life expectancy on appliances if you have hard water conditions such as this. So what we're going to do is recommend to the client that they install a water softening unit just to help pull some of these minerals out of this water, convert our hard water to soft water, and this way they'll have the proper life expectancy out of their appliances. They'll be able to do their laundry more effectively. They'll create more suds in their, their showering, their laundry. It's easier on your skin, and definitely easier on your appliances. So hard water stains, look for that when you open up your dishwasher. One thing we always want to check is the smoke pipe where it enters the chimney thimble. You see this big gap right here. Carbon monoxide and flue gases can come out of there and actually enter the house, causing a significant health concern or safety issues. So this has to be repaired by putting refractory mortar in this gap where the smoke pipe enters the chimney thimble. I'm still in this renovated house, and we see here, this is hot side water pressure. The hot side water pressure is very poor. The valve, I checked it, it is on all the way. So we have hot water pressure down at the other bathroom and also at the sink in the kitchen. But here it's very poor, and this is what we call inadequate functional water flow. If we come here to the cold side, we do have water pressure here, which is adequate. We know that it's not the faucet. We have some other kind of plumbing issue here, has to be corrected. Hot side water pressure, just way too low. Same renovated house here, and if we look across by the sink basin, there's no electrical receptacle. There's none. So new bathroom, but no electrical receptacle installed. Every bathroom has to have a ground fault circuit protected electrical outlet, which we don't have here. So this is a defect, and one should be installed so you don't have to run an extension cord to blow dry your hair or use any other appliances in the bathroom that you want to use. Needs an electrical outlet. Just taking a look at this house, and we see that somebody planted a tree right there. So look at how close that tree is to this foundation wall at the right rear corner of this house. So when you have a tree, plant it out there, plant it further away from the house, because these small trees obviously become larger trees, and this root ball right here, as it grows, can cause damage to the foundation wall here. So don't plant trees so close to the home. Just not a good idea. So I'm at the front of the home, and this tree right here used to be a small tree at one point. Somebody planted this tree so close to this house, but that tree at the right rear is going to be as large as this one. So this tree here, we're recommending to the client that they obviously remove this tree to prevent foundation wall damages and other problems in this area right here close to the porch. So this tree, way too close to the house. About 15 minutes ago, I was running water to this sink. The valves on this kitchen sink are on, fully hot and cold. And now look, I got nothing. I got nothing at all. I got nothing over here at the water. This is a water filter. And this is an instant hot. So I have nothing, I have no water flow here, and I did not touch anything. I have no idea what just happened here. So, gonna have to look into this problem for sure. Well, I just found out what happened. There will be a water shutoff on Tuesday, December 27th between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. We apologize for any inconvenience. That certainly doesn't help the home inspector who has to run water. So that's why we have no water flow at the sink. I'm gonna try to talk a little bit softly, but here we have a Pushmatic load center, Pushmatic electrical panel box. These are push button breakers, which are no longer in use anymore. There's several class action lawsuits regarding this type of panel, and this is a known fire hazard. So this panel is a replacement for sure. And also an insurance company is never going to accept this type of panel. So look for Pushmatic on the panel cover on a house that you're thinking about buying, and know that that will need automatic replacement. We see all this insulation that's now being used as like a nest for probably mice. And then we look over here and we see this space here is open to the world. Mice, chipmunks, squirrels can just easily come in here, gain entrance to the attic space. So this has to be dealt with right here. All this nesting material, all the areas of possible entry have to be sealed up as well. Very, very important. You don't want this in your attic space. We would prefer that the underside of the attic roof deck right here not be insulated. You can see all this insulation is falling down because of most likely moisture retention behind it. We want to see insulation under the attic floor. That's the best practice. That's the best way to go and deal with an insulation problem in the attic. When we have insulation on the underside of the roof, it builds up heat. You have moisture problems, and also you have a less or a shorter life expectancy of your roof covering material because of all the heat that builds up behind this insulation. So we're going to recommend removal. Just want to thank you guys for taking a look at that video. I appreciate it. I enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy, what I do as a home inspector here in New Jersey. If you guys have any questions about home inspections or houses that you're buying, just please reach me through my website, LookSmartHomeInspections.com, LookSmartHomeInspections.com. Thanks, have a great day, and remember, stay empowered and keep your eyes open.